Hey everyone, I'm Majiin and welcome back to World Tour Weekly, your one-stop shop for all competitive Flesh and Blood news. And you're in luck because we do have some news. With Silver Age's first standalone calling in the books and ProQuest season right around the corner, we have a lot to talk about. Let's get into it. During the world premiere event in London, players got their first look at what the Silver Age format would look like post-Compendium of Wraith. Briar was an obvious frontrunner and did about as well as expected, taking down the event. However, Kano saw a surge in play in the Sunday Showdown event with a Kano Finals. Decimator Great Axe Warrior was definitely the breakout deck of the event though, giving the slower decks a lot of trouble. So going into calling San Diego, players were trying to figure out if what worked before would continue to do so, or if something new was going to shake up the still forming metagame. Let's go over the event in today's Metagame Minute. To nobody's surprise, Briar was the most popular deck in the room with 37 copies, almost double the next most popular deck in KO. After everyone's favorite one-armed brute, there is a bit of a drop-off, and then Kano, Fi, and Dorinthia are the next most brought heroes. Every other hero in the event had only single-digit numbers, but I think we're going to see some of them be much more popular in the future Silver Age events based on how it all went. Shifting over to the conversion rate, you'll see that Briar and Kano converted well, but not nearly as well as heroes like Dorinthia, Enigma, or even Terra. Fi converted terribly, with only one copy of the original 12 making it into the top 48. And unfortunately for the non-Ranger Ice heroes, not a single copy of Icelander or Oldhim made it into day 2. In fact, Terra took the throne as the most successful Guardian of the event, not something that I had been expecting, to be honest. I will say that I was very impressed with what I saw out of the Lexi and Enigma decks at the tournament, so I do expect to see more of them in the future. Taking a look at the top 8 bracket, you'll see that we had 2 copies of Briar, 1 Enigma, 1 KO, 2 Kano, 1 New, and 1 Dorinthia. Tao Tao's new deck was super exciting to watch in action, and if you're planning on playing any Silver Age ProQuest in the coming weeks, I would definitely make sure you know what this deck is doing. People are 100% going to be playing it. We really started to see the format actually taking shape at this event. Some of the frontrunners solidified their place, but a lot of the more niche heroes successfully targeted some of the more popular ones. Although the main story from calling San Diego from a purely competitive lens is that the Kano deck is 100% real and you have to respect it to even stand a chance. He has now won both of the Sunday Showdown events and one of the 2 callings. I think he really gained a lot of power when players figured out the best equipment to be bringing in different matchups. For example, having Blade Beckoner equipment against aggressive decks like Briar gives him a lot more time to enact his game plan. As of now, I think it's super safe to say that he is easily one of the best decks, if not the best deck in the format. But if history has taught me anything, it's that if you really want to beat Kano, the tools are available to you if you're willing to give up the slots. All of the other decks in the format are absolutely going to have to adapt to the Wizards' dominance. I expect to see a lot more Arcane Barrier, Arcane Polarities, and Prevention effects in the future. If you're an aggressive deck like Briar, just a couple of these tools can get you across the finish line against Kano. We saw this in the semifinals with Michael Fung against Alexander Vor, but if you're playing a more slower strategy, you might need to dedicate a lot of slots to handling the Arcane Menace. Because of this, in the short term, I do expect Guardian's popularity in the Silver Age format to fall off a bit due to their general weakness against Wizards. As other heroes start to figure out what to do against Kano, I do expect them to be back in force, just not quite yet. Alright, we talked about the meta of the event, but we also have to talk champions in today's weekend winners. I spoiled it a little bit in the metagame minute section, but Kano did win calling San Diego in the hands of Jacob Clemens. This is his second big Silver Age win in a row, as he took down the Sunday Showdown last week as well. That's not all though, our wizard had a very busy weekend as Ryan Brown won the Sunday Showdown event, also playing Kano. Congratulations once again to our weekend winners. Okay, before we move on from calling San Diego, I wanted to highlight a super cool play that happened in round 4 of the calling. Let's take a look in today's Razor replay. Okay, what is that card on the left?
Oh, I know exactly what that is.
Talk to me, what is it?
That is Life of the Party.
Oh my goodness, I have a bunch of those promos somewhere in a box.
So yes, it was.
It is the Tiger turn.
Most importantly, after this Tiger is attacked, you get to make a resource with your Blood Scent as well, which Mask does cost a resource to activate, so if there is something happening here with Life of the Party,
I'll pop this.
Yeah.
to
Okay,
pop
here we
the
go.
Masks and mini faces. I'll name it Crazy Brew.
Yep.
Crazy Brew coming in for 2.
Some fun stuff's about to happen. So if you're a little confused, this card that is not legal in this format is currently the name of the Crouching Tiger on the combat chain. And that usually doesn't matter. But it is going to matter for that Life of the Party.
Play Life of the Party.
So this one has random modes on it. As you can see, you get one of these 3 effects.
So it is 6.
But if you discard or destroy a card you control named Crazy Brew, you can destroy that instead of paying the cost. And then you get all the modes.
If only we had a card named Crazy Brew.
Well, hang on a second. There's a Crouching Tiger that's now disappeared that was called Crazy Brew. So this is 6 when it hits gain 2 and go again for 0. You just had to destroy your Crazy Brew.
Wow. That's so cool.
And there's Snatch.
Oh, that's it! That's Life of the Party taking the game is such a great way for this to end.
That is incredible. Mystique getting the win there with Life of the Party. Ira has a YouTube channel as well if you want to check it out. Mischievous Meeps.
I just thought this was such a cool moment that got caught on camera. It was really funny for me to realize what was going on in real time on the stream. All right, moving on from Silver Age, let's talk about what's coming up in the Classic Constructed format. We haven't had any CC events since the release of Compendium of Wraith, so I'm going to take this time to speculate a little bit on what I think is going to happen with Calling Montreal and the ProQuest season. Before the set came out, the top dogs of the format were arguably Arachne Marionette and Acilio at the higher levels of competition, while at the local level, Arachne Marionette and Verdance were actually the ones putting up the top numbers. Now, Marionette got some new tools, but nothing that makes me think the deck is going to be significantly more powerful than it was previously. And Verdance got Elemental Strike, which I do think is powerful in the deck, especially because it allows you to play an 8-power felling earlier, but again, nothing that's going to push her to new heights. On the other hand of the spectrum, Acilio, who is already doing really well in tournaments, is getting 2 new very impactful cards. The first of which is the new 3-block lightning card, Astrovolt Elemental, which is going to help him keep that embodiment of lightning train rolling. Arguably more important though is that he now gets access to Temporal Wobble, easily the most powerful counterspell we've ever seen in the game of Flesh and Blood. The Marionette matchup used to be pretty difficult for Acilio to navigate. He pushed a little bit too much damage and still had disruption on top of that. Temporal Wobble gives Acilio so much more game in the matchup though. It counters a lot of the deck's most important cards. Due to this, I expect Acilio to become the premier deck in the format. Or at least, I would, if it wasn't for Fi. Now, I'm not going to claim that the Draconic Ninja is going to come out and be the best deck in the format or anything, but there is a lot of buzz about Fi. He gets access to a ton of new powerful cards like the Fire That Burns Within and Artivore at Home. It does seem like these cards are going to push Fi into a more Phoenix Flame focused build than it was previously. However, there is a bit of a wrinkle, and that's the Living Legend leaderboard. Fi has been out of sight and out of mind for a while now, but during his run in Classic Constructed, he has accumulated over 800 LL points. And if he's anywhere near as powerful as players seem to think he'll be, we might see him cross that 1,000 point threshold rather soon. My guess for the format is that Fi, Verdance, and Marionette will do very well at the local level, but Acilio will take center stage at the calling level and above. And with less than 2 months until Pro Tour Yokohama, players are going to be racing to find out what's actually good and what isn't in both the Classic Constructed and Silver Age formats post Compendium of Wraith. If you'd like to play in a future Pro Tour, you are in luck because ProQuest events for Vegas start this week. The format for these events are going to be Silver Age from February 21st to March 1st, and Classic Constructed from March 7th to the 22nd. Not only can you win yourself a Pro Tour invite, but you can also fight for your share of some pretty incredible prizes. Things like gem packs, gold foils, rainbow foil Bittering Thorns, and cold foil Ghost Protocols, which you can trade to me so I can bling out my Teklevossen deck. The next tournament stream is going to be Calling Montreal in 2 weeks featuring the Classic Constructed format, so make sure you tune in. Alright, that's all I got for this week. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Majiin, and I'll see you next time on World Tour Weekly.